guys. Welcome to kind of our homeschool routine that we have going on. My name is Joy. I am a mom of 4 kids, and I would say about 3 of them are doing homeschool right now. The third is definitely wanting to. She is about to turn 3, so she's seeing her older siblings start school and is wanting to do it alongside them. So I have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, an almost 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So my 8-year-old is in 3rd grade right now. My 6-year-old is in 1st grade. And then of course the 3-year-old or almost 3-year-old is gonna be starting preschool. So I kind of wanted to show you guys just what we have going on right now as a homeschool family. We are transitioning into the summertime here in Arizona. So things are gonna kind of shift and change as we go along, but I do plan to continue homeschooling throughout the summer. For one reason, it's just so hot outside, so they're gonna be inside a lot of the time unless they're like swimming. So it just makes sense to have something going on inside anyway, but also I find that it is better to kind of continue things rather than have a stop, start it back up and have to do a lot of review for a few weeks to get them back into rhythm and to get their heads back in the game. So I kind of just keep it going and it tends to work really well for us. So like I said, my 8-year-old, she's in 3rd grade. She's finishing up quite a bit of her curriculum and will be transitioning into 4th grade. And then my son, he will be transitioning into 2nd grade. So I figured I would show you what they have currently going on and then some of the books that I've ordered for them for this next season. So it is April right now, and I cannot remember when we started a couple of these books, but as I said, we just kind of continue on. So we don't have a starting point and a stopping point, but the math that they've been doing, their books are a part 1 and a part 2. They have finished the part 1, and this is my son's 1st grade, it's Saxon math. And I want him to continue these pages throughout summer. They are very easy. You kind of just rip out the page for the day. And it just kind of has a bunch of review things. And most of them are double-sided. And so these are just really good for when we first get started with school. I'll usually just have them do their independent work. This is really easy for them to do independently. Same with my daughter. So again, Saxon Math 3. And they'll have these test pages of multiplication and other things like that. But they do have quite a bit that they offer in one lesson to cover. So let me see if I can show you. So in hers, they'll cover everything from like measuring sides to finding the missing factors to temperature and graphing, completing patterns. So it's an array of things, which I really like because some things they don't need to continue reviewing. It's really basic and simple, and they've conquered that. So I can kind of have them skip and go to the part where they really need some extra focus points. Also, side note, my kids are definitely with me, so I have a couple interruptions here and there. It is what it is. But so throughout the summer, I am gonna keep them doing their math. I also have some of these worksheets. They're called 1 page a day. And this is also really good for independent work and just kind of drilling certain things in. So my 3rd grader, she has these 2-digit multiplication practices, fractions, and single-digit division. And my son has double-digit math practice. So it's adding and subtracting double digits, and it's just really good for repetition, for practice, so they can really conquer what they have been working on and that it stays with them throughout the summer and they're not falling behind. So that is my plan for them with math. For reading, my 3rd grader is an avid reader. She reads all the time, so I am not worried about her reading at all, but my 1st grader is still learning to read and he's doing really well, but I really want him to just kick off with reading this summer. So he has an I Can Read It book, and then also when we are going through his book work, I do make him read out the sentences, and that just gets him extra practice. That is what we have with reading. I do have some spelling, vocabulary language books coming. They have not arrived yet, but I do plan to keep them really going with just like the vocabulary part of it, the language part of it, making sure that they are properly performing sentences, keeping up with penmanship, that kind of thing, but not having it super structured. I figured during the summer it'll be a really good time to just really drill in those skills. So I'm going to take the summer and do that. But as I said, some of the books haven't arrived yet. They've kind of been trickling in. But currently, the English books that I have them doing right now are School Aid Language Series. It's a Climbing to Good English. So this is the first grade and the third grade version. I found it really a lot easier to kind of have them doing the same type of book work so that we're all just kind of doing the same thing at the same time, just at their different levels. But we just started this. He's on page 12 and she's on page 13. So they're really neck and neck here. And again, it's just kind of drilling the vocabulary into them. So like my first grader has to identify like the beginning sounds. So it's just really getting him to continue to think about those sounds and just get a lot more comfortable with that. And for my daughter, she's really honing in on like capitalization and punctuation. So you can kind of see how it's laid out, but it's been really good. It's nothing that is too overwhelming for them. It's actually quite perfect for where they're at. And as I said, my daughter is a big reader, but writing is a different story. And that's okay, but it is important to me that she does know how to have proper grammar and things like that. So we just started these books and we're gonna continue them until they are finished. So how I kind of have it structured right now is each kid has a file folder like this. And inside I kind of put either loose pages, little booklets. This is my son's and this is my daughter's, and hers is a lot thinner than his right now. And inside is just everything that they need for their stuff. So she has a ruler because she is really measuring things during math and stuff right now. One of her booklets that she is doing is a division booklet. So she's learning division. She has her multiplication chart, which she uses a lot. And as I said, these one-a-day pages. So I kind of just rip a couple out, put it in here, and then when we get started, I can just pull one out and she gets started and she can do that independently. Aside from that, I do have in here a spelling list for her grade. And so part of that day, I will do a couple of these rows and she has to spell the words. And that is something that I want to continue during the summer. I did order a spelling book for her. So again, just really wanting to hone in on those skills, proper grammar, capitalization, punctuation, spelling. Those are really important to me. So I want to make sure that is instilled in my kids as well. Another random little workbook that we have started, they both have one. It's 4 words and it's called Wordly Wise. I keep wanting to say worldly. Wordly Wise. And every lesson has a word list and it shows the definitions of those words, which I think is really cool because what I love about homeschool, a lot of homeschool curriculum is they're a little bit more, I don't want to say old-fashioned, but they do have some words that other more like up-to-date curriculum won't have. And I think that it's really good for kids to learn even what you would consider potentially more old-fashioned words. I think it's really good for them to learn the definitions of those. So it just has a couple pages where they have to remember what the definitions are, do a little crossword. And there's only 10 lessons in this, so they're already halfway done, but I'm glad that we started this. And like I said, they're already halfway through and we're continuing with that. So that is all that is in my daughter's folder as of right now, because a lot of the books that are coming are going to be more for her. One of them that I already received is a science book by Abeka, and I was raised with Abeka. I was homeschooled for the majority of my childhood, so I was raised with Abeka. I'm very a lot more familiar with this. I'm like, oh, I remember this book, which is so funny. But as I said, she loves to read. So this is going to be really awesome for her. She will just be able to read it all on her own. It's going to be teaching her all sorts of stuff. They have 9 big sections in this book. So she is probably going to zip through them really quickly. But I think it's going to be really important for her to be able to to learn to like slow down and take in everything that she's learning. But I know she's gonna really enjoy that. One of the books that I did order for her is a health book. I want her to just like mainly focusing on math, science, health, and writing throughout the summer. I think is gonna be a good focus point for the summer months. To share my son's, his file folder is a little bit larger at the moment, but that is because he is finishing up a couple smaller booklets. I used to buy the thin booklets from the dollar store, and they have great little supplemental materials up until about 2nd grade. They don't have much for 3rd grade and beyond, but they have a ton for 1st grade. So this is an educational workbook for 1st grade. Again, Wildcats, he loves it. And so he's actually finishing this up really quickly. In his file folder, I also have his spelling list. As I mentioned, for his math, because he already finished the Saxon math for this half, I'm having him do a couple of these one-a-day pages. And he also has a Wordly Wise book. Again, he's halfway through. And let's see, the last booklet that he is currently involved in is a phonics workbook. Again, from the Dollar Tree. And it just goes through the short sounds of the vowels, the long sounds. And it's really quick. He can just do a page or a couple pages, and this will go by really fast. But it does feel good to have him actually get these workbooks done, because you can't really go wrong with a lot of supplemental materials, but as long as you're actually finishing them. Okay, again, for him, I also ordered a health book. So I'm just gonna like read through it with him and just talk about like good manners, good hygiene, that kind of stuff. Very simple. Also through the summer, I got each of the kids a set of these scratch and sketch books for just the like solar system, outer space. I figured we'll probably do kind of a unit study or just some sort of reading about these, and they can just trace along. On one page they'll have like reading about the sun, and on the next page they can scratch it out and reveal the sun underneath. So that's just gonna be kind of fun for them to actually do. So I also wanted to show you what I got for my preschooler. So like I said, she will be 3 next month, but she already just jumps right in and says, I wanna do school, I wanna do school. And she doesn't always just wanna color. So I got her a couple things. So one thing is a lot of like manipulatives and things that she can touch and feel. So I got her, it's a set of these, and they push through, you know, just like one of those things. But there's a food matching game, so there's more cards than just this one. But she would pull this one out, and then, I didn't even grab the right one. I grabbed the wrong one. So there's 2 of them. One has animals and one of them has food. And so she would have to find the broccoli on her 2 little rubber pad things, and she would punch it through, and she's really good at this, but it does keep her occupied. And the second part that goes along with it is a what comes next card. And so again, it shows the pattern, and so she would have to find out what comes next and then push it down on here. So she does very good at this game, and the sequencing is kind of the next stage for her to do, but it's good to have kind of like that manipulative thing for her to just have fun with. Okay, I also got her, I ordered her a busy book. This is awesome. We actually got it in yesterday. She did not stop playing with it for like an hour, and she was really, really good at this. So it comes like this, and it pops off like that. And she would have to find where the A goes and sticks it on. She did this entire page by herself, and she kept wanting to go to the next one and the next one. So it has the alphabet, numbers, and counting. And again, she did really good at this. And it also has color matching, shape matching, farm animals, sea animals, food shopping. I mean, it has a whole bunch of stuff. But this is so awesome, and I think is going to be probably our favorite thing that she gets to do. And it is the Momo and Nashi brand. I've never heard of that, but it's Montessori method. I also got her a cutting and pasting book and a pencil control book. She knows how to hold a pencil correctly, but she still kind of, you know, it guides her rather than she guides it. So the cutting and pasting funny story is she's actually left-handed. She's the first left-handed of my kids. My husband's left-handed, but she is left-handed. So I think I actually have to give her left-handed scissors because the poor thing is struggling. But when I do, she already knows how to match really well and how to paste really well, but the cutting is what we're gonna focus on next. And then again, the pencil control, because the pencil just kind of goes everywhere and she doesn't know how to control it yet. So this will be really good for her to just learn, like drawing lines, going through the maze, just learning control. So a couple more things. These two books she's not currently ready for. This will be when she gains a little bit more of that pencil control, but I know she will enjoy it when she does get there. This one is the preschool activity books with ocean animals. She's gonna really like this, and it will have everything from connecting the dots to drawing lines of how much, you know what I mean? Just all of those things, which you really can't go wrong with these. It's just a lot about repetition. But once she gains more of that pencil control, she'll be able to do that. Same with this book. This is the highlights book, which is always awesome. I usually find these ones at Costco for like $9.99, and it's always worth it with my kids. But this can be for so many things. So when she starts actually writing the alphabet to matching, coloring the right colors, silly patterns. I mean, it's all around really good, but I am saving this one and the ocean animals one for later, and just while we're going through summer school, and we're just gonna let her get started on these smaller books first. I do not force my kids to start school really early. Obviously, with her being the third born, she sees her older siblings doing school and automatically wants to join in. And I absolutely support that. I encourage that. But a lot of the time too, she just wants to go off and play or watch a little show while we do it. And that's totally fine with me too. But when she has the desire, I'm gonna capitalize on it. So I did want to get those books just to have for whenever she is interested. So that's what I have. I also ordered her a few more books from, I want to say it's from Rod and Staff Publishers. I'm pretty sure. We call them the ABC books, but it's really like matching, cutting, pasting, drawing. It's all of these things just in a different form. And all my kids have done that. I did it growing up, and it's just really, it's a really fun way, really easy way, encouraging way for them to like go through all of that preschool, kindergarten process. So that actually should be delivered today. And then I just ordered her a couple more coloring books. So the last thing that I did already get her, and she has totally gotten into, are these children color classification toys. And it really is just like about dividing the colors into the right colored bowls, and she has to pick it up with these tongs. So it really just shows like control and placing and stuff, and she has been loving it. It's like, it is just a toy for her, but again, it's really good for establishing color matching. She knows her colors, actually. It was never taught, she just learned it, picked it up. But so she just has fun with it anyway. So she's been doing that all day. She's been doing the busy book all day, but yeah, so she loves it. So last thing I wanted to share is what is in my teacher's binder, because this is my binder, and in it I have a lot more of that random stuff. I have like stickers and some lists and stuff, but I also have kind of like our schedule. And I don't always follow the schedule, but sometimes when I really want to get my head in the game, and as we're transitioning into a new season or a new, section of schooling, it really helps me to get all of my thoughts down and what I want to accomplish, what we're finishing up, what's going to come next, so that I don't forget. Like, my head is in the game right now, but 2 months from now it may not be. So I like to write it down. And then on top of that, I also have our Bible verse memory cards. We've actually done most of these, but so I'll like pick one for the week, and the kids will learn it throughout the week. And so I keep that in mind, because things have to be organized. So aside from that, I mean, that's pretty much it. So yeah, this may seem really sporadic, but I figured I would just show kind of what we have going on right now as a homeschool family with kids in all, you know, different age groups and stuff. But it's really worked for our family. We really like it. The kids get done with school anywhere from like 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the day and the attitudes and stuff. But yeah, then they just get to play and they have a ton of outside time. I've been really promoting outside time in the morning because it's obviously not as hot. Today's actually a beautiful day. It's only like 73 degrees, but yesterday was like 90 something. But yeah, normally they have their morning time outside. They just hang out and then we do school and then they just have time to play. So it works really well for our family. And but yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it and it gave you just kind of an insight into our daily routine with the homeschool. And if you have any questions, drop them down below. This is totally subject to change. As I said, we're in a transition season, so it's gonna look different a month from now, 2 months from now, a year from now. But as of right now, that's what we're doing, and it's working for our family. So anyway, I pray this blesses you guys. You guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.